Across the vast landscapes of the United States, lakes stand as still bodies of water that mirror the sky, harbor life, and shape the geography around them. They are more than picturesque features. They are reservoirs of history, climate regulators, and centers of human activity. From the towering mountains to the sprawling plains, lakes punctuate the American land, reflecting the diversity of its terrain and the forces that created it over millions of years. To understand the lakes of the United States is to understand the nation itself, for they have influenced settlement patterns, commerce, ecosystems, and culture in ways as profound as rivers or mountains. The Great Lakes dominate this story. Comprising Lake Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, and Ontario, they form the largest group of freshwater lakes on Earth by total area, holding roughly 20% of the world's surface freshwater. These lakes are the beating heart of the American Midwest and part of Canada's southern border, forming a massive inland sea that has shaped both nations' economies, environments, and histories. Their origins trace back to the last ice age, when glaciers carved deep basins into the land, later filled by meltwater. The scale of these lakes is staggering. Superior alone is larger than the entire United Kingdom, and together, the Great Lakes provide water, transportation, and resources for tens of millions of people. Lake Superior, the northernmost and largest of the group, is a vast expanse of cold, deep water surrounded by rugged cliffs and dense forests. Its shoreline stretches over 2,700 miles when bays and islands are included. Superior's waters are not only deep but also frigid and turbulent, shaping the climate of surrounding regions and creating hazardous conditions that earned it the nickname, the Graveyard of the Great Lakes. Storms and sudden weather shifts make it a formidable force, reminding travelers and sailors alike that even large lakes can wield the power of an ocean. Lake Michigan is unique among the Great Lakes, as it lies entirely within the United States. Its shores host some of the country's largest cities, including Chicago, Milwaukee, and Green Bay, demonstrating how lakes have guided urban development. For centuries, Lake Michigan was a corridor for Native American trade networks, European fur traders, and later, industrial shipping. The lake's calm waters and natural harbors allowed cities to grow and economies to thrive, while its beaches and dunes continue to shape local tourism and recreation. Lake Huron, connected to Michigan by the Straits of Mackinac, is known for its intricate shoreline, dotted with thousands of islands, including the famous Mackinac Island. Its waters support commercial fisheries, recreational boating, and shipping lanes that carry bulk goods such as iron ore, grain, and coal. The lake's islands, bays, and peninsulas create microclimates that affect both weather and ecosystems, supporting forests, wetlands, and a rich diversity of wildlife. Lake Erie, the shallowest of the Great Lakes, warms quickly in summer and freezes in winter. Its productive waters make it one of the most fertile fishing grounds in North America, historically supporting indigenous communities and later fueling commercial fisheries. However, Erie is also vulnerable to environmental challenges such as algae blooms and pollution, demonstrating how human activity and natural systems interact closely in lake ecosystems. The lake's influence on surrounding cities, including Cleveland, Toledo, and Buffalo, is profound, as it has shaped transportation, trade, and economic growth since the 19th century. Lake Ontario, the easternmost of the Great Lakes, connects to the Atlantic Ocean via the St. Lawrence River. Its strategic location has made it historically significant for trade, settlement, and military campaigns. The lake's moderate size and navigable waters facilitated early European colonization, while its shores became centers of industry and agriculture. Like the other Great Lakes, Ontario's waters are a crucial source of freshwater for nearby populations, and they sustain complex ecosystems that include migratory birds, fish, and amphibians. Beyond the Great Lakes, the United States is dotted with countless smaller lakes that hold immense significance. Glacial lakes, such as Crater Lake in Oregon, formed when volcanic calderas or glacial activity created deep basins that filled with water. Crater Lake, known for its stunningly blue water and remarkable depth, is a reminder of the geological forces that have sculpted the American landscape. Mountain lakes in the Rockies, Sierra Nevada, and Cascades serve as sources of rivers, providing critical freshwater to regions far downstream. These lakes act as natural reservoirs, releasing snow melt gradually and sustaining ecosystems and human settlements during dry seasons. In the arid western United States, lakes such as the Great Salt Lake in Utah and Pyramid Lake in Nevada illustrate how geography and climate shape bodies of water differently. The Great Salt Lake, a remnant of ancient Lake Bonneville, is extremely saline, supporting specialized wildlife such as brine shrimp and migratory birds. It is a crucial stop for birds on the Pacific Flyway, demonstrating that even harsh environments can be critical habitats. Pyramid Lake, similarly, supports unique fish species, reflecting the delicate balance between water, life, and climate in desert regions. In the southern United States, lakes often take the form of reservoirs created by damming rivers. Lake Mead on the Colorado River, Lake Texoma on the Texas-Oklahoma border, and Lake Okeechobee in Florida are examples of human-engineered lakes that provide water for cities, agriculture, and hydroelectric power. While these lakes meet human needs, they also illustrate how rivers and lakes interact. Dams alter natural cycles, affect ecosystems, and create entirely new bodies of water that redefine local geography. These lakes are reminders that American landscapes are living systems, shaped by both natural forces and human ambition. Lakes are more than physical features. They have been central to American history and culture. Native Americans relied on lakes for drinking water, transportation, fishing, and trade. European settlers used lakes for navigation and as natural borders for land claims. In modern times, lakes have become recreational hubs, offering boating, fishing, swimming, and scenic beauty. Cities built near lakes benefit from their climate moderation, fresh water, and aesthetic appeal, demonstrating the enduring human connection to these waters. Ecologically, lakes serve as critical habitats. They support fish populations, amphibians, waterfowl, and countless other species. Wetlands surrounding lakes filter water, store floodwaters, and provide breeding grounds for birds. In many ways, lakes are keystone ecosystems. Even slight changes in water levels, temperature, or pollution can ripple through the surrounding landscape, affecting both wildlife and human communities. The importance of lakes extends into climate and hydrology. They act as heat sinks, moderating temperatures of surrounding areas, influencing local weather patterns, and feeding rivers that eventually reach the sea. Snowmelt from mountain lakes feeds rivers that irrigate farms and supply cities. Lakes are crucial in maintaining the balance between land, water, and life, illustrating the interconnectedness of natural systems across the United States. From the colossal Great Lakes to the smallest glacial ponds, from saline deserts to mountain basins, lakes in the United States tell the story of the land itself. They reveal the forces of glaciation, volcanic activity, erosion, and tectonics. They reflect human ingenuity in managing water, creating reservoirs, and harnessing resources. They sustain ecosystems, support economies, and inspire wonder through their natural beauty. In every region, lakes act as mirrors of the continent's geography and history. They shape climates, guide rivers, influence settlement, and nurture life. They are natural reservoirs of memory and possibility, flowing silently through the narrative of the United States. From ancient glacial basins to modern man-made reservoirs, lakes remain essential threads in the vast tapestry of American landscapes, connecting the past, present, and future in still, shimmering waters. While the first glance at a lake may reveal a tranquil body of water, the lakes of the United States have played a far more dynamic role than mere scenery. They have shaped settlement patterns, powered commerce, sustained ecosystems, and guided the development of the nation. From the immense Great Lakes to smaller mountain and desert lakes, each body of water carries influence far beyond its shores, acting as a conduit for life, trade, and culture throughout American history. The Great Lakes are the most prominent example of lakes shaping civilization. Their sheer size created a natural inland sea, connecting multiple states and even neighboring Canada. Early Native American tribes used these lakes for fishing, transportation, and trade, establishing networks that spanned the continent. Canoes and small boats moved goods, ideas, and people along these waters, forming the backbone of pre-European communication and commerce. The lakes were not obstacles to navigate but lifelines that connected communities across vast distances. When European explorers arrived, the Great Lakes became crucial corridors of trade and colonization. French fur traders in the 17th and 18th centuries relied on the interconnected network of lakes and rivers to move pelts, trade goods, and supplies. The waterways allowed relatively small groups to penetrate the interior of the continent efficiently, establishing forts and settlements at strategic points along the loch shores. Over time, these lakes became central to geopolitical strategy, determining territorial claims and influencing alliances among European powers and native nations alike. As the United States expanded westward, lakes continued to guide settlement. Towns and cities sprouted along loch shores, drawn by access to fresh water, fertile land, and navigable transportation routes. Cities such as Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, and Buffalo owed their growth to proximity to the Great Lakes. They became industrial and commercial hubs, with lakes serving as natural highways for shipping raw materials and finished goods. Steel, grain, timber, and coal all moved along these waters, fueling the rapid industrialization of the United States in the 19th and early 20th centuries. Lakes are not just static water bodies. They actively shape regional economies. Commercial fisheries on the Great Lakes supported livelihoods for generations, providing food and trade commodities. Lake Erie's shallow waters and abundant nutrients made it one of the most productive fisheries, sustaining indigenous communities long before European settlement, and later feeding growing urban populations. Recreational activities, tourism, and shipping continue to rely on lakes, demonstrating their enduring economic significance. Smaller lakes, though less globally renowned than the Great Lakes, have also influenced human activity profoundly. Mountain lakes in the Rockies, Sierra Nevada, and Cascades feed rivers that sustain agriculture, hydroelectric power, and municipal water systems. Lakes such as Crater Lake in Oregon, formed in volcanic calderas, provide not only water but also cultural and ecological significance. High-altitude lakes act as reservoirs, slowly releasing water through streams and rivers, regulating water availability downstream and shaping agriculture, industry, and population growth. In arid regions of the West, lakes like the Great Salt Lake and Pyramid Lake highlight the delicate balance of water, climate, and life. The Great Salt Lake, though saline, supports millions of migratory birds along the Pacific Flyway and sustains a unique ecosystem that includes brine shrimp and other specialized organisms. Pyramid Lake in Nevada supports endemic fish species, showing how isolated bodies of water preserve biodiversity and maintain ecological stability even in harsh environments. These lakes are critical not only for wildlife but also for human communities that rely on them for water, tourism, and recreation. Human intervention has further altered the landscape of American lakes. Dams and reservoirs have created man-made lakes such as Lake Mead on the Colorado River, Lake Texoma on the Texas-Oklahoma border, and Lake Okeechobee in Florida. These lakes provide essential water resources for drinking, irrigation, flood control, and hydroelectric power. Yet they also illustrate the trade-offs between human needs and natural systems. Damming rivers alters flow patterns, affects fish migration, and changes sediment deposition, demonstrating that lakes are living systems that respond to both natural and human pressures. Lakes also influence culture and recreation. From boating and fishing to hiking and scenic tourism, lakes attract millions of visitors each year. They have inspired art, music, literature, and folklore, becoming symbols of natural beauty and human leisure. Communities celebrate lakes through festivals, water sports competitions, and conservation efforts, showing that lakes are as important for cultural life as they are for survival and commerce. Ecologically, lakes are keystone habitats. They regulate local climates, act as heat sinks, and provide fresh water to surrounding ecosystems. Wetlands along lake margins store floodwaters, filter pollutants, and offer breeding grounds for birds, amphibians, and fish. In many regions, lakes are critical for maintaining biodiversity, sustaining species that cannot survive elsewhere. Pollution, climate change, and human development threaten these delicate systems, making conservation and careful management essential for their continued survival.